apologized. He's now ran out of time to apologize and get a more lenient sentence here.
I want to apologize to the Korean people.
Have you heard of anybody that forgives him here, that really forgives him here in Korea?
Lawyer said, like way back when, we said the law itself is stupid.
Johnny Somali just made his situation even worse, and right now he's going deeper into trouble. South Koreans are not accepting any kind of apology from Johnny Somali.
Have you heard of anybody that forgives him here, that really forgives him here in Korea?
They had already dismissed him before, but Johnny Somali disrespected them again. After all of this, South Korean people and many others are heavily against Johnny Somali. The current situation for Johnny Somali is completely ruined, and Hank Yu is also getting into trouble because of it. As you've seen in my last video, Johnny Somali's lawyers are in trouble too, because their defense is very weak right now. There's no hope of surviving. Defeat is just waiting for Johnny Somali in this case. So how is Johnny Somali facing more backlash, and how could it ruin him? Let's watch till the end. So, as you know, Johnny Somali said he apologized to the Korean people and the public for all the shady stuff he did in South Korea.
I want to apologize to the Korean people.
But then without any hesitation, he went back and did disrespectful things again, almost acting like a national terrorist against South Korea, as you've seen in many videos.
Japan, come back and take Korea. You know what I gotta do for these Koreans? These Koreans want to put me in war in jail? I got one surprise. I'm gonna leave this here. Hold on. They think that they can defeat me. These Koreans, they can defeat Johnny Somali.
So Johnny Somali can never truly apologize to the South Korean people. If he had any real apology or shame, then maybe he wouldn't have done what he did. If you remember, Johnny Somali himself once said that he actually did all this shady stuff for money and clout, and he knew exactly what he was doing.
You being to other people in other countries for money, for clout.
I've said it many times. I don't give a I have no morals. I'm a sociopath. I don't give a Put this in your next YouTube documentary. I don't give a fuck.
When the South Korean people literally tried to restrict Johnny Somali, he did shady things, countered with his bad comments, mocked the people, and brutally disrespected everyone.
Do you admit the charges? Is there anything you want to say?
The car.
Do you admit the charges? Don't you want to apologize?
I love North.
So, do you think the South Korean people will forget all of this? Actually, no, they haven't forgotten anything. That can be confirmed by the man who once punched Johnny Somali named Jung Do, who said before that they will never forgive Johnny Somali for what he did. And the people are still angry at him for repeatedly disrespecting Koreans.
Harassing women and children and elderly people because for its clout, and also desecrating the statue that memorializes women who were forced into slavery, by Japanese imperials, which, by the way, most of them are underage. So after he did that, I just screw it, I'm just gonna risk it.
Not only that, but even a South Korean Navy SEAL officer confronted Johnny Somali before. And later, from his words, we found out that none of the South Korean people have forgotten anything shady about Johnny Somali, and they still haven't forgiven him for what he did.
When did you figure out that it was not a real apology and it was a insincere apology?
이제 조니 소말리가 그러고 나갔거든요. 사과하고 이제 나갔는데 V하고 막 이런 사진들이 엄청 많더라고요. 라이브 스트리밍에 잡혔는데 그런 거 보고 얘는 아직도 진짜 정신 못 차렸구나. 우리가 속았구나라고 그때 느꼈어요.
Did many of your fans also feel the same way as you?
모든 한국인들이 그러지 않을까요? 제 생각엔 그래요.
Have you heard of anybody that forgives him here, that really forgives him here in Korea?
아니요.
Well, South Korea is against Johnny Somali, and they actually want the South Korean court to give him the maximum punishment. That's why they even filed a petition against Johnny Somali to make sure he gets the harshest penalty possible. So, I want to ask all South Koreans watching this video, what's your opinion on Johnny Somali's apology? Would you ever accept it? And even if he apologizes again just to survive, would you forgive him? Let me know. And also, now creators like Atozi are talking about how Johnny Somali still looks defeated, but he actually hasn't apologized properly to the court or to anyone. And that's making his situation even worse because the court is starting to see him as a criminal who deserves the maximum punishment.
So clearly, reality is slowly kicking in with Johnny that, hey, you're no longer playing a game. You have some serious consequences that are hanging over your head. Because it seems like he's taking this more seriously now. He still showed up late, but at least he had a fitting suit and he didn't make a whole scene when he arrived. But the main thing I noticed looking at him was, wow, he looks incredibly defeated. But unfortunately for him, he still hasn't apologized. He's now ran out of time to apologize and get a more linear sentence here, because for some reason he just keeps doubling down.
Not only that, Johnny Somali hasn't apologized, which is one thing, but another serious issue is that he hasn't even pleaded guilty for his crimes. After everything he did, the court is actually considering him a shameless person. If you don't believe me, watch this video of the expert who was in the court.
Yeah.
So why are you insisting on a not guilty plea? But he is. It's a paradox.
Right.
It's like basically saying,
made them, you're guilty.
yes,
Oh, if you said you distributed them, you're guilty.
yeah, they cannot deny having distributed them. I think it goes back to what the lawyer said, like way back when. We said the law itself is stupid.
Right. Okay.
They're trying to argue.
They're trying the Chewbacca defense.
So why won't Johnny Somali plead guilty for his crimes? Because he said before that he would act in court like he's innocent, and he's hoping the judge will consider him mentally ill.
I go to the judge tomorrow and say, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm mentally ill. I don't know what's going on. I plead mentally insane. And they say, okay, go home with a fine of $500.
Johnny Somali is actually so shady that from the beginning he figured out what counts as a crime in South Korea and what is considered North Korean propaganda. But his intention was clear. He thought he could commit all these crimes on his own, acting without any regard or awareness of the consequences.
Law on that. You said you read up on the law. What's the law on that, North Korea?
All right, so no propaganda, bro.
No propaganda.
Like,
what is
don't carry around no.
What's the definition of propaganda?
Papers, like papers promoting Kim Jong Un, like T-shirts promoting Kim Jong Un. None of that, bro.
I ain't got no T-shirt.
Nah, no, I know, but don't be talking about him and saying he's a real god and whatnot.
So now after all of this, Johnny Somali is facing his biggest trouble yet. As you know, he's actually funding all his legal expenses with Hank Yu's money.
He's ran out of money. He's using Hank's money to keep paying for his own attorney. And this is only going to prolong the entire trial process.
Right now, Johnny Somali owes Hank Yu at least $20,000. And if Hank Yu isn't there, Johnny Somali is left without an attorney in South Korea.
You know, how much have you personally spent thus far?
Including
legal fee, everything.
Close to it.
Close to $20,000.
That's why South Koreans are also angry at Hank Yu now. But what makes Johnny Somali's situation a total nightmare is his next court trial. Because in the upcoming trial, he's going to face massive consequences.
So the next trial is October 29th, and it's going to be witness testimony. Witness. It's going to be crazy. And we already know that there were going to be two witnesses there, Bong Bong and Youngman. But now we have official confirmation that there will be actually 3 witnesses. And this has been confirmed by the court filings. So who is this third person? Well, this third person is absolutely Somali's true nightmare. And this is the worst case for Ramsey. That third person is none other than Yu Dal-gun. None other than the SEAL, the underwater demolition team member, which is essentially the Korean.
So guys, if we sum it all up, what do you actually think? After watching all of this, if Johnny Somali apologizes again in the future, do you think South Korea will forgive him? Does he even deserve that? And looking at Johnny Somali's current situation, what do you think will happen with Hank Yu if Johnny Somali goes to prison? Will South Korea forgive Hank Yu as well? Let me know your thoughts.